most valuable commodity I know of is information. Wouldn't you agree?
I'm jacked.
I'm jacked to the tits!
Get over here, Nick.
Hi there guys, welcome back into another session. Hope everyone's having a brilliant start to the week. Little bit of a dead order flow and order books in the crypto market at the minute, and risk assets, as these two fuckers argue over tariffs and caused a little bit of a tech slide last week, didn't they? Bad quarter for tech stocks certainly, and e-mini futures. Most stocks actually on the downside as well, and it's having an effect on our magic internet money. But let's have a look at where we can go in the next 24, 48 hours with our trading, because I still think it's a pretty good trading environment. Okay, if you're just holding some longer term risk or bags, then maybe you will be suffering a bit. But last week we were looking at that market structure change, obviously, and we did get a push up just towards that 88k, and we couldn't rise any further, could we? It has to be said, we did get some nice perps bid in last week, trying to push the market up, but overall, risk assets, tech stocks were sinking us. We eventually broke down from this 88k region and came down, and we're now revisiting the demand zones below and making a possible range. So what we're going to do today is we're going to concentrate on big boy BTC. Join us later in the US session where we can check some altcoins as well. I am seeing quite a lot of demand on altcoins, okay, falling into some nice demand zones, but obviously we do need the wider asset classes, Bitcoin being the main one, obviously, and tech stocks to have a rally as well. So we'll have a look at some trading view levels, and we'll have a look at the all-important order flow in the TRDR console. But some slight hopium. Oh, hang on, just watch this. I do love a good meme. Anyway, some hopium just in. 12 hours ago, Jim Cramer says, I can't think of a dumber day to buy stocks than today. If that doesn't tell you to go all in 1000x leverage pumpfund.com on risk assets right here, right now, then I don't know what will. But yeah, it's interesting. We've got some, there's some good news all around, really, to be honest, in the crypto market. I just think we've just got an absolute lack of activity. It's almost like we've hit those summer lull months already, and yeah, just lack of activity in the books. Let's dive into TradingView and have a look at some levels top down. So here we go. Look, very mixed stock market at the minute, okay? And yes, we do have to look at tech stocks in particular because the correlation is there, okay? The correlation is there with big boy BTC as well, isn't it? So we have to concentrate on tech stocks. Last week, I don't think there was aggressive selling on Bitcoin in particular. Of course, there will have been some market selling to move price down, but no aggressive selling that we saw in the order flow, to be honest. Just absolute lack of demand, tech stocks selling off, and we fall down, okay? Nice to see US 10-year, okay, coming down. Does that give us a bit of further bounce on E-mini futures and NASDAQ? That would be nice, but this chart, certainly on E-mini futures, looking a little bit nasty, okay? Broke the trend line, nice technical pullback to the trend line, and we roll over here, okay? Dixie doing Dixie things. If it's going to fall any further, I certainly think it takes a bit of time, but this would be nice, certainly if we can get a bit more risk on in the wider market as Jim Cramer gets even more bearish at these kind of lows. But let's have a look at Bitcoin, okay, from a top-down perspective. One thing I do have to say, I'm kind of liking the base that we're putting in here on a weekly chart, okay? 80k level on there on BTC. Remains to be seen whether that holds. And then 3 weeklies here. Okay, 3 weeklies at 82k. So a little bit of a potential base forming on Bitcoin. And it has to be said, no online metrics at the minute flashing red flags. Okay, no canaries in the coal mine flashing red flags at the minute. Okay, so get bearish all you want. We can play short side trades as well, in and out the market, but absolutely, I think in the wider, higher time frame structure, we're looking okay. Even if we go and revisit some lower levels on Bitcoin, we will certainly trade everything in between as well. Daily chart, okay, let's go top down. Daily chart, we can just see the old range there. Let's just review it. Down, break, back test, down, okay. This was our structure from last week that we're potentially looking to hold for another little clip and push up to potentially just go and sneak and take that 90k level. It wasn't to be, okay? Risk assets moving down, as we know, and lack of demand, okay? So here we are, big cluster now as we are in a new month. Happy April Fool's Day if you're a bit of a cunt and you're into all that shit. But big cluster of confluence down here, monthly open, weekly open, all your VWAPs are going to be clustered down here. So no real edge in that at the minute. Bigger order blocks down here on the daily chart at 77k now. So if you're a high time frame trader and investor, you're still going to look to be getting some really good value down there if we can get it on the daily chart, okay? I still think that could take a little bit of time, so we'll play the levels in between. 4 hour chart, range, and a nice range it is as well at the minute, okay? So breakdown, now your auctioning price, okay? This is now a price auction within a range, well established 4 hour range. Here's your range lows, 81, 80k, okay? This here, right here, is where potentially I think we could get some plays. So little deviation up, okay? Point of control of the range there at 84.3, okay? Keep an eye on that. And then the lows and the Monday lows, which can present a good risk reward trading environment, okay? If we can just take those Monday lows, that would be very good as well. But just look left, you're going to come into a slight bit of resistance now. Very easy here. Push up, hold this point of control at 84 and push on a little bit further to this resistance level there. Or we roll over soon, okay, under the point of control, go take the Monday lows and onwards and upwards. And then I've just marked that out there. So there's your point of control. So nice, easy, horizontal price action levels, just pushing up to this 84k level there. 1 hour 200 EMA there, point of control, and not a lot else there as well. And there's your Monday lows. So if we get any further rotations down, I'd certainly be looking for these Monday lows to bid. But right here, right now, no reason to short the market, just let it float up. So we've got our horizontal levels. Let's go and look at the TRDR console for the absolute mega alpha.
Well, in my book, you either do it right or you get eliminated.
Right then, guys, TRDR console, grab a link from below if you're unfamiliar with this platform. Free trial. We still have 20% off the Art of Data-Driven Market Analysis course as well. So here we go. Let's quickly go back and see where we've come from. Okay, so a lot of perps bid going on last week. You can just see in here, a lot of perps bid trying to hold the market up. It wasn't to be, as those tech stocks sell off, as we know, and the offers actually came down to chase price down a little bit as well. Again, I don't think there was aggressive selling here, just absolute lack of demand, and the wider risk assets were selling off as well. But here we are now, okay, so we can just see the value area low of this 4 hour range here. Got a slight bid yesterday, nice to see that. Group spot bids coming in here from the TRDR alert system, group spot bids coming in at these lows, okay. I would favour a deviation a little bit higher, take out these weekend highs, or we play down here, okay? You can just see that in the price action right here, right now. We haven't really moved in the last 24, 48 hours. We're just coming up to take those highs from the end of the US session last night, okay? A little bit higher. We know our point of control from the range is up here as well at this 84k level, all right, guys? But yeah, a little bit of group spot bid, cluster of the weekly open and the monthly open here. Best risk reward trades are going to be a little bit higher or a little bit lower. Don't diddle in the middle in this crab area here. So let's just have a look at the order flow and see what we're doing here. So you can see that group spot bid coming in there. General aggregated depth got to about 770, 800 million, we'll call it, in this zone. Looking at the order flow right here, right now, I'm not seeing a major reason to just short this back down yet. Okay, perps market has got the depth back. Let's have a look at that. Perps market has now got the depth back that you were missing last week, okay? So you had some aggressive close price bidding on the perps market, but they just couldn't hold it. General depth of book, though, from the perps market is back here now. These are actually, that's actually wrong. Let me get rid of that monthly open there. And that, I'm going to clear that as well, okay? But general depth in the perps market is back. This is pretty good if we get any deviation back down to see a push back up. So keep an eye on that, okay? Other markets, Coinbase Pro have been bidding this as well, okay? Coinbase Pro bidding this, and they are protecting those lows a little bit lower, and they've got offers a little bit higher near and around that point of control, okay? Another market of interest that I do like, because you do still get some very smart traders on BitMEX. Okay, BitMEX heavily defending that 81k region as well. Where does that come in? That comes in near and around the Monday lows. So if you get a blast down, okay, if you suddenly get some violence and a little bit of a rip down, this is certainly a zone I think you want to be trading, okay, in the next 24, 48 hours. But right here, right now, you know, we've had some slight volume divergences into these range lows here, as you can see, from the perps market. Spot market not really getting too involved until you came over to this zone here, but still a very low open interest, low funding environment, okay? So not going to get bearish here in any way, shape or form. We'll just trade whatever we see in the coming 12-24 hours. Let me just go show you those levels again. Okay, we'll trade what we see, you know. Don't overcook it and say we're going to 75k or we're going straight to 90k. That could be the case, but for me personally, I would play the levels in between, okay? Quick look at the screener then. Let's have a look at the movers and shakers, what is going on. Anything that stands out in the perps market? No, perps market is still pretty bid all round. A little bit messy in the perps market can be, especially on some of these coins that have just got the straight algorithm bids going on constantly. But yeah, I mean, look, there has been a lot of demand coming in on the perps market. Coins of note, LTC's been well bid, XRP has been well bid, Uni, okay, Uni's been well bid. A lot of coins have been well bid. So if BTC starts to get a move, I think there's going to be some good trading in the coming 24, 48 hours. All right, guys. But what we'll do is we will have a look at altcoins in a little bit more detail in the live session. Link to follow for that one, okay? But keep up to date with the socials as well. And give us a follow on X, and I'll give everyone updates as soon as possible. All right, guys. Potentially a good week of trade, and I think the volatility has been low over the last week or so, obviously. Okay, so, you know, Bitcoin volatility low as tech stocks sell off. Not such a bad thing, I don't think, to be honest. All right, so join us in the live session a little bit later. Let's have a great week. Cheers, guys.
I bet your margins are pretty nice and fat.
Let's not talk about my margins, by the way. Being nice and fat, that's a nice shirt. Do they make it for men?
And we say bye-bye.